How are we doing, everybody? A lot of you guys have been asking me about stuff that I did ship, along with how did I go about shipping them. One of the things I created, I actually I couldn't get LBC boxes at my original shipment. I actually had three separate shipments, two out of Fresno, California, once I got to California, and one from upstate New York, which was driven by me down to Albany, New York, and dropped off at a guy who then transported them down to New York City to drop them off at the only place in New York State that you can take stuff. Be aware, I found it very difficult to find an LBC when I was in the United States. And I have learned since that the best way to find them is not a Google search. Go on your maps and write LBC near me. LBC is like, I guess the locations are like a franchise like McDonald's. And what you'll get when you Google LBC is phone numbers in Manila or like the New York number, for example. But you won't get individual offices like the one I found in Fresno. And it's just a faster way to find them. You'll find them a lot quicker. And frankly, if I'd have known about shipping containers, folks, I would have used one because I spent a lot of money shipping stuff. It wouldn't have cost me much of anything if I had known about shipping containers. Although I did not have time at the time. I literally had just a couple of days to decide whether to throw things away or get them in a box and ship them, because I was getting kicked out of where I was. I am friends with that guy, though. I actually spoke to him this morning. Well, let me show you the box. Here's one of the things I created. I had to go and buy boxes from Lowe's Hardware, and I had to go 50 miles to Watertown, New York to even get them, and then took them to an Amish cabinet maker and said, here, make me wooden crates that fit inside the boxes. They were for the more precious items like the sterling silver set that I set, the little brown jug that was made in the 1800s, an earthenware jug that my mother had collected. A lot of this was her stuff. And here is the box that the Amish cabinet maker made. He made me quite a few, including one for the recliner, specifically for the recliner. He came over, he measured the recliner, and we made one for the recliner specifically. That one cost $300 to ship, but it's here. There it is. And here is the box for the Lowe's boxes. I literally took them a Lowe's box. I said, make me cabinet boxes that fit inside the Lowe's box. And of course, it has a lid. It's up in storage upstairs. There's the recliner itself. And this is just simple flooring with wooden strips he cut. He made these strips himself. He makes ornamental cabinetry and stuff. And he's out of Gouverneur, New York. And this is the recliner, the Lazy Boy. This is also was shipped. This actually got broken. This was actually inside of one of the wooden crates, and the handle got snapped in half. And I just sort of threw an old junky butter knife on there and wrapped it with a lot of tape, and it works. It's a professional back massager, which also is 110. Now this was 110, but I wasn't aware Lazy Boys are built for Korea. And here we go. Whoops, wrong buttons. There we go, electric Lazy Boy in the Philippines. And this is literally the best thing I shipped. The only thing that it comes close to being as handy as that, and something you cannot get here, is this. This is an IceCo refrigerator. It's 12 volts and 110. I contacted the company. It's basically a 12 volt refrigerator with an inverter. And I contacted the company and I asked, do I need a different inverter to run it off of the Philippine voltage? Apparently not. I don't need a different inverter. They actually took a couple days to get back to me, and they went to their engineers and checked, and the engineers said change the plug. Well, don't even have to do that here because we do use American style plugs here. In fact, here's one of the Lowe's boxes. This is the box. Actually, this is the box that was on that. We were using all kinds of things. We don't have storage space. I don't have furniture yet. This was also shipped. Not the crutches. I have bad legs and I hurt my foot the other day and had to buy some crutches. Let me close my chair up here. Uh, let's see, this bag was also shipped. This level was shipped. Nope. But the nice thing, if you do send a Lazy Boy, you can plug it in. At any rate, this metal cabinet underneath was shipped. This was a gun cabinet my father had. And it just was stuff he kept guns in, and I put all sorts of stuff inside it and wrapped it with cardboard and shipped it. And actually used it as a crate, per se. This is another one of the crates here. I'm using it as a piece of a table. This is actually the panel from the chair. And here's another one I had a piece of furniture in. We're also using it as a table. And another panel that was covering the chair. We recycled it all. Let me pause it for a moment and I'll go upstairs. Here's another thing that I shipped, quite a bit of cordless stuff. You cannot buy cordless stuff here. This is an antique wooden chest that my mother had, and I have 3 of these all together. All 3 of them are different. But what I shipped mostly was tools. And most of these boxes were small, including that, which is a welding machine. And behind here, you can see here, this is a bed frame. That was the most expensive item because it was a rather large box in height. As you can see, there's a Lowe's box again. And you can see it fits just inside, but it's literally all what I shipped was primarily tools. I also shipped oddball stuff that we just happened to have, and I actually turned it into a Bal and Buy box. This is a copper storage container my mother had purchased somewhere. For sewing equipment. Electric fan, which I really don't use because I need to use an inverter to run it. Like I said, this is another panel from the chair. The larger panels are from the chair. This is the smaller panel that is a lid for the Lowe's boxes. And let me see, there's more in here. Oh, here, there's another one of the wooden cabinets. And this was a mirror, but the mirror did not survive. This was a 1/4 inch thick antique mirror that I should have packed better. I did not. I also shipped this, which I haven't even taken out of the box. And deciding whether I screwed myself even sending that. And let me see what else we got here. Oh, believe it or not, I mean, I've shipped all kind of crazy stuff. Here's my mother's favorite pruning pair, you know. There's a cabinet that goes inside of, there's another cabinet right there. Fortunately, a lot of this stuff is buried, and this is an antique crib that was used for me when I was a baby. And as soon as I find the screws, it's getting put back together. And that is going to be used for our baby, which is coming in a few months. And here is an antique duck decoy. Now there's all kinds of stuff that got shipped. There's CPAP equipment, there's a carpet. That's why I say using a shipping container, if you're going to ship a lot, you're much better off with a shipping container. These are all movers blankets that I had used for a different move. There's an antique mirror that did survive. Just haven't decided where to put it yet. Hey everybody. There's all sorts of stuff scattered around, little things. Ship these. These are actually for tying up tents in the U.S. It's basically a little pull slider deal. These are actually turning out to be kind of useful. These we purchased here because we needed some stuff to put our clothes in. These, which are one USB fan and light combination. I'm finding them, I can't leave them in where my TV is because the TV remote triggers them. They are remote control. And here is the little brown jug from America. And the very first thing that made me think of the Philippines was this, which I purchased at a yard sale for $5 in America. I spent $100 making this sheath for this knife. I keep it in here because you're not allowed to carry this stuff around here. But it says the Philippines on the side, and I found that over 20 years ago. And I kind of look back at it now. What I believe started my journey here. I'm getting a little choked up even thinking about that. But I still remember to the moment I picked that thing up. I was in right where Route 100 and I forget what the other, Route 309 in Pennsylvania, just north of Allentown. Big open parking lot. This stuff was spread out for 50 feet every direction in boxes, and as I went through it, just seeing what was there, I came across that knife. $5. Thing works beautiful, really good knife. And apparently it's from Manila, made in the style of when the Chinese came and the Filipinos made knives like that and chased them out. And a lot of people like it. Wish I could wear it around, but you can't. I mean, you can buy knives similar to that here. You can buy working knives and everything, but you're not allowed as a foreigner to be walking around with a knife. And I don't even know what the rules are for a Filipino that has a knife, although I've seen guys out working with knives or carrying them around, so I don't know if that's just the rule. I have no idea. All I know is I can't carry it around, so I keep it here. I shipped thermos, Stanley, I believe. Now you can get decent thermoses here, although I'm finding the quality of what I've shipped better. Extension cords, that's also an oddball thing. The extension cords they have here are all like this kind of wire here. This is a standard cord that you can buy, and I'm finding that almost all the cords here are like that. I haven't spotted a normal style, American style extension cord. I did ship a bunch, including a really heavy duty one, 2 duty ones I had purchased for my welding machine. This is one of the ones I shipped. It's still not out of the package yet. There's more cordless tools. That's cordless impact gun. Cordless is something you're not going to find here. A bunch of air tools in this one. And the reason these boxes were small, they weigh close to 150 pounds a piece. I actually was weighing them and trying to keep them under 150 because they said that they'll take any box, weight's unlimited, but one guy has to be able to move it. And a lot of what I shipped was Snap-on, about the wrong button. It was about abandoning them or bringing them with me. And I decided I didn't want to abandon. And there were some things I gave away that I wish I hadn't. A chainsaw. I wish I had shipped that. That I could use here. Damn, I can't really think of much more at the moment. I should have left that in. This table was shipped. This was the tall box that's in the kitchen. And it was able to come. This was an accident. It actually was able to come. And yeah, I'm a slob. And this is an old antique jewelry cabinet, Mac here, that belonged to my father. It was my mother's, and then before that, at least my grandmother's, and I don't know further back than that. The bed frame, very old. Oh, excuse my CPAP just turned on. Glad I heard it. The CPAP I brought in my luggage. My kitchen knives I wish I had. I had planned to do that and didn't. I'm very much regretting that because that was knives from the family. They date back 100 years. And all of high quality knives, and a couple of knives like what Gordon Ramsay gives out on his show, which are amazingly sharp. And you can't, well, you possibly can get good knives here. I have no idea where. Most of the knives I'm seeing, and most of the stuff I'm seeing in the stores is sort of like you're going into a dollar store, really. I'm sure there are some better stuff, just knowing where it's at. Oh. Tricia. Oh, grumpy. And I did also ship this, which I actually had bought on Amazon, and you can buy here. I shipped this. This is a fan that runs off of USB. I didn't ship this, but I shipped that. She's a trip. and it's getting to be interesting. Oh, there's something out here I've been using to work to get to the water tank, and it's folded up right now, and there's two more sections. This is a pruner, and this piece folds out so it's out here. Pruning branches on trees. I could actually reach over and start cutting this palm tree down if I wanted to. It's that long, and it's made in, it's good quality. Getting these the pruning cutters like that in the United States, you can't even get good ones there anymore. I've never even seen anybody with something like that here. They'll send somebody shimmying up the tree to cut the thing down. And that one literally is like from the 1920s. And I have to occasionally reach out over this frame to these valves when the water gets shut off. This is our backup water tank. And them on and off, and there's no easy way to get to the valve except climb out there, and I'm not a crazy Filipino that's going to climb out on a rickety ass frame. I don't know how well it was made. I know I ain't trusted my life to it. But it's holding the water tank, but I'm not throwing another couple of 100 pounds on there. I get the maintenance guy to do it, or I use that thing. And this is the neighborhood. This is the back of on this particular property. This is the grungier side, where they have cows over here all the time. And this, I guess, this is somebody's old shack. There's a toilet. There was I guess a CR down there at one time. The building's long gone, and you can see here's a cow out here right now. Wrong button. There it is. And Filipino people, they'll basically, if there's land available, if nobody's complaining, they'll put their cow or their goat out there, and they tie a rope through its nose and give it like a 20-foot lead. It munches on whatever's there, then they move it somewhere else the next day. And they constantly have cows out here. I've seen turkeys out here. Turkeys just running loose. A few chickens, lots of dogs. And this property over here, wealthier property here, he's not got the back cleaned up real nice, but the front of that place is gorgeous, and he has quite a few dogs, but he keeps them locked up, so they're not a big problem. But there's like at least 6 or 7 loose dogs here that come wandering into this place every day, especially at night, because they can climb right through the damn gate. Well, if you guys wanted to know about shipping, there you go. And then on one of the comments, I actually put the phone number of the guy in Albany, the guy who was in upstate New York, and he was looking for how he could ship things down to New York City. And like I said, unfortunately, the only thing I could find was to take everything in a U-Haul truck and haul it down to Albany. And oh my God, it was, if you saw any of the videos of me packing stuff, I actually had been awake like 20 hours when I was finished packing. Had to drop stuff off that day. Took off out of that property at like 5 o'clock in the evening, starting to get dark already. And I sat there at the entrance of the driveway, and that scene from the Blues Brothers with Dan Aykroyd talking about full tank of gas and sunglasses just popped in my head. Because not only they were going to the Adirondacks, that's exactly where I was going to. And did not get any sleep for the next at least 8 to 10 hours. I think it was longer than that. I think I went almost 40 hours with no sleep to drop that stuff off. And then literally had to pack up that next day. I had a tiny little bit of sleep, like 4 hours sleep, pack up my shit and head across America. And you want to know why I spent too much? That's probably why. It was either abandon it or spend too much to ship it. And there's a lot of stuff I kind of wish I hadn't shipped, like that big saw. I could have bought one here. The difference in the price for the shipping would have equalized, and of course it's 110 and I have to run it off of an inverter. And if you have any workers around, they'll plug it right the fuck in. And if it doesn't, like if you rig it up so they can't plug it in, they'll cut the plug off and wire it up anyway, and poof, gone. I plugged in one of the fans by mistake. It lasted about 45 seconds. It was blowing like crazy, and all of a sudden it started to smell. Wherever we got back to it, it was toast. Well, luckily I had 2 of them. That's it, folks. All I can think of. feel free to contact me. I created an email. It's on a bunch of my videos. I'm gonna start adding it to all of in the comments. It's I'm lost in translation at yahoo.com, but spelled properly because they won't let me use a number one for the first character. So it's I'm lost in translation at yahoo.com. Later, folks.